This is CNN.
I'm Larry Madowo in Kigali, Rwanda, and this is CNN.
A former teen prodigy is a major golf champion once more. Why this Chinese golfer was overcome by emotion in Germany. And we're on the eve of a slightly different Wimbledon tennis championships. Hello, welcome to CNN World Sport. I'm Alex Thomas in London. In-Gee Chun is the latest major champion in women's golf, choking up during her winner's interview as she talked about regaining the victory feeling for the first time in 4 years. A phenom who won 2 majors before she was 23, she's only claimed 1 other title since 2016, but held off America's Lexi Thompson on the final day of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Lexi was also looking for her first title in a while and stormed into a 2-stroke lead on the back 9, but she then dropped 4 shots in 6 holes to slip back, and In-Gee rallied to birdie 16 and take a 1-stroke lead down the last. This was the South Korean getting up and down from a tricky position at the back of the green to stay at 5 under for the tournament, and Thompson missing the birdie putt that would have taken this to a playoff. Restrained joy for In-Gee Chun as her par putt goes in, sealing her 3rd major title. So despite a final 75 that was 11 strokes worse than her opening 64 on Thursday, In-Gee Chun ending up winning by a shot from Lexi Thompson and Australia's Minjee Lee, who both finished 4 under par. Only one player in the field shooting under 70 on the final day. Let's have a chat to someone that was really close to the action. Golf Digest writer Keely Levens, who is still at Congressional in Maryland, where the event's been taking place. Keely, great to have you on CNN World Sport. Minjee Lee, US Open winner earlier this month, really having another run at it on the final day. But this turning into a bit of a shootout between Lexi Thompson and In-Gee Chun. What a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And, Minjee really wasn't on the radar until the end there. She started out her round bogey, and then really fought her way back to get in at 4 under. And then it wasn't until late in the round where Lexi started to struggle a bit that Minjee's 4 under started to look pretty good. And all of a sudden on 18, there was a little bit of a question, like, are we going to see a 3-way playoff at 4 under here?
Would have been good, wouldn't it? But instead, we see that she managed to hold her nerve and par the last. They're such great golfers, both of them, but real combinations of birdies and drop shots. Do you think the fact that both Lexi and In-Gee had gone a while since their last titles was affecting their play, that they could sort of feel the pressure?
I think it's a really tricky thing. When you haven't won in a while, you can tell yourself that you're due for a win, that it's coming. And both Lexi and In-Gee have finished runner-up in events this year. So they definitely know that they're capable. They know that their games are there. But when you're in the moment, when you have a win right within your grasp, and especially when it's a major championship, the pressure can just become overwhelming. So I think that we did see a little bit of that down at the end today.
And where do you place Lexi Thompson and In-Gee Chun now in the wider picture? Both of them were young prodigies. They were doing what we're seeing the great young players on tour doing right now. They're still only 27, but it feels like they're veterans because, the likes of Yuka Saso and Minjee Lee, we talked about, the Korda sisters as well. So much great young talent at the top of women's golf right now.
Yeah, there is so much talent right now. And I think the fact that players like In-Gee and Lexi can go as long as they have without winning just shows how deep the talent pool is right now on the LPGA Tour. And it is funny that they really do feel like veterans and they're only 27 years old. And if you look just one shot behind Minjee Lee and Lexi Thompson, there's actually a rookie on the leaderboard, Atthaya Thitikul from Thailand, and she's already won once on the LPGA Tour this year. So there's so much talent right now with the veterans, and then every year the rookie class is just bringing more and more talent to the tour.
We didn't get a chance to turn around a soundbite in time of In-Gee Chun, but I'm sure you were listening as well to her interview after winning, and for someone that's not used, I guess, to showing that much emotion, you could really tell what it meant. In fact, actually, I'm just being told as I speak that we can listen to it now, so let's play for you and our viewers what In-Gee Chun said after sealing victory.
It just means a lot because I didn't have any wins last almost 3.5 years. So I really appreciate it to my old sponsor KB and Deloitte, SAP, Tegoir, Ping, and Strixon and Nike because they always believe in me. So I really appreciate it. And my family and my coach, my managers, Justin and Yoon, and my caddy, and my flying dumbbell fans in Korea, they never give up on me, like no matter how I did. So thank you so much, and I really enjoyed the rolling the ball this week. So thank you for all the greenkeepers at Congressional Golf Club here. So thank you.
Keely, I was going to say something glib about how she managed to remember all her sponsors despite being emotional, but genuinely, you could tell how much it meant to her.
Yeah, I think genuine is a great word to use to describe In-Gee Chun. You know, she is really just truly a lovely person. And I think in that brief interview, you can really feel the relief. She's been under incredible pressure this week, coming out as hot as she did in the first round, having such a big lead. That's a lot of pressure to carry over 4 days of a major championship. And then on top of that, trying to get her first win in over 75 starts. It has been grueling. It has been emotional for her. And, you know, you can really just feel the relief and the joy that comes with this victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming from a country in South Korea that is so used to success amongst their women golfers over the years. Really fascinating stuff. Keely Levens, really appreciate your time here on CNN World Sport. Thanks very much indeed.
Thanks for
having
me.
Now, as you've seen on our news coverage, the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade is hugely controversial. There's been comment from every section of society, and the sports world is no different.
Out front tonight, a potential breakthrough in treating coronavirus.
We've gotten very little help from the federal government.
Could all this spending lead to a bigger economic crisis? One of our viewers saw you last night on the show. She says she's going to pay your rent this month. Shut up. I want to go now to an incredible story of survival. Would you do it all again in terms of being a nurse, knowing that that could put you at risk for this?
I want to help people more than I ever have.
Erin Burnett out front on CNN.
These troops, they are Russian. I've spoken to the commander. He said they are now in control. Hold on that way. It's a secret location. They're going to fire on Russian forces. There has been a ferocious battle here. There's unexploded grenades everywhere. We're being shown the powerful American guns, giving them an edge.
You downplayed the US intelligence assessments. Do you now regret that?
I'm in Kiev right now, and it is under attack, Mr. Lavrov, from Russian forces.
I'm being told by our security that we need to get our flak jackets on.
No matter where you are in this country, lives are being shattered.
There are thousands streaming out. It is at least a chance to save their own lives. Matthew Chance, CNN.
I am Nigerian by blood, British by birth, and American by residence. It is important to me that those same strands of inclusivity that flow through me are mirrored in the stories that we tell. One World is a place where Africa has an equal seat at the global table alongside Europe, the Americas, and Asia. Every continent has a voice, and where everyone watching has a stake in the global conversation.
One World with Zain Asher, weeknights on CNN.
Hello, welcome back to World Sport on CNN, which has been bringing you extensive coverage of the controversial American Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. A tearful US women's national team soccer star Megan Rapinoe talked about it ahead of her country's friendly game in Denver this weekend, calling it just a really sad day.
We know that this will disproportionately affect poor women, Black women, brown women, immigrants, women in abusive relationships, women who have been raped, women who, and girls who have been raped by family members, who, you know what, maybe just didn't make the best choice. And that's no reason to be forced to have a pregnancy. It will completely exacerbate so many of the existing inequalities that we have in our country. It doesn't keep not one single person safer. It doesn't keep not one single child safer, certainly, and it does not keep one single, inclusive term, woman safer. We know that the lack of abortion does not stop people from having abortions. It stops people from having safe abortions.
On the pitch, Rapinoe helping her US national team to a 3-0 victory over Colombia as a warm-up to the upcoming CONCACAF W Championship. There were 2 goals for Sophia Smith, while Rapinoe, in her first international action since October 2021, sent in a cross for Taylor Korniak, who becomes the 22nd woman to score on her debut for the US team. Although overturning Roe v. Wade is a US legal decision, it's made headlines across the world, and even young American tennis player Coco Gauff's taken notice, despite being hundreds of miles away from her homeland. She's here in London to contest the Wimbledon Tennis Championships over the coming fortnight. And while Serena Williams has said she isn't ready to share her thoughts yet, Gauff, who has a history of speaking out over social issues, said she's feeling disappointed by that Supreme Court ruling.
To see that decision to be reversed, and I just think that history repeating itself, and I feel like, I mean, at least on my end, reading and researching, because I do like history, I just feel like just having this decision reversed, I feel like we're almost going backwards.
And we're about to talk to one of our tennis experts about what we can expect from Coco and the rest at Wimbledon, as well as showing you a new track and field world record.
My name is Guillaume Faury and I'm the CEO of Airbus. We believe very strongly on hydrogen. We are investing on hydrogen, but we're not betting the house on hydrogen. We continue to invest on more fuel-efficient planes, more connected planes. We strongly believe in the need of sustainable aviation fuels, and we are enabling the increase of production of sustainable aviation fuels. I really believe in hydrogen. That's the way to prepare the aviation of the future. No carbon in the air, because when you use hydrogen on board the plane, there's no molecule of carbon that goes into the air. And we believe that's really a very, very forward-looking technological solution for the future of aviation. That's why we are investing so much in hydrogen.
Hello again, welcome back to World Sport on CNN. We're on the eve of one of the favourite 2 weeks of the calendar for many tennis fans, the Wimbledon Tennis Championships, the oldest of the 4 annual Grand Slams, but for all its tradition, will be slightly different this year. Players from Russia and Belarus are banned because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and there will be no ranking points after the main tours disagreed with that sanction. So Novak Djokovic is the men's top seed in the absence of Dani Medvedev, while the women's singles has been energised by the return of Serena Williams after a 12-month absence. Let's speak to CNN tennis contributor Ben Rothenberg, who's going to be at the All England Club in southwest London over the next couple of weeks and has certainly been there for the practice days this weekend. Ben, an historic and unique venue, those traditions that we know so well, the purple and green, the leafy suburbs, but no Russian or Belarusian players and no ranking points. When you were down there earlier, did it feel any different?
Honestly, not really. I think during the draw ceremony, it felt different when you sort of realized that these big names weren't in the draw and there was a bit more space for a lot of the other top players to maneuver. You know, a handful of real relevant, interesting names in both the men's and women's draw are missing from this. But I think once the draw got set, you start looking at those matchups and you get excited about the players who are here. You know, Serena Williams, maybe foremost, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, Andy Murray. There's a lot for the eye to catch already. So I think once the tournament starts, I think the Russians and the Belarusians who were banned are going to be a bit out of sight, out of mind, for better or worse here.
Yeah, and talk of a mass boycott sort of quickly went away. Look, plenty of talking points, Ben, but I quite like the oldies but goodies theme in both the men's and women's singles, or gentlemen's and ladies, as Wimbledon likes to call it. But let's start with Serena's return. What's the bigger surprise for you, that it's taken this long, or that she's not setting her sights any lower than winning it? I think she was asked, you know, what will be a good result? And she said, do I have to answer that? You know, she's always going for the W.
Yeah, no, it took a while, but also it kind of came out of nowhere. She did not enter Wimbledon under the initial entry deadline, so people were a bit caught off guard when she announced a pretty late wild card into the tournament. We hadn't seen her enter any tournament in a year since she got injured in her first round match here last year and retired just 6 games in with a hamstring injury. And so we don't know what really to expect from Serena. She's been training a bit. She won't say exactly how long. She won't say totally about what's gone into her training and things like that. She's still being cagey and being kind of classic Serena in a lot of ways, which is somewhat refreshing to see. But, you know, she's obviously confident. She, like you said, she got asked what would be a good tournament for her, and she sort of rolled her eyes almost and said, you know, I'm only here for the trophy, with her expression, not saying it as directly. But, you know, she's someone who holds herself to an incredibly high standard, and she wouldn't be here if she didn't believe she could be doing something special. She's not just here for the, you know, the first round check.
And while she's been away, of course, Iga Świątek has taken this huge grip on women's tennis. Hasn't played since winning that French Open. She's on an historic streak. But I guess grass is one place where it could end, right?
Yeah, no, the streak started on hard course, which has not been considered her best surface, and then continued onto clay, but the grass will present a new challenge for her. She's not been bad on grass in her career, really. In her junior days, actually, she won Wimbledon, was the one junior title she won. So she has done okay on the surface at other times. At the pro level, though, she has not made it to a 4th round or quarterfinal here, I believe. And she has some work to cut out, but she's just so much better on a tennis level right now than everyone else on tour over the past several months that it's going to take a lot for anybody to catch up to her, even if this is a less sure footing for her on the grass.
Yeah, 4th round, her best result at Wimbledon, as it is at the US Open. Listen, on the men's, obviously we got Rafa, we got Novak, but also this whole host of other young players that really are on form and hungry for it. Does that make it quite wide open for you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the way the draw shook out as well, with 2 of the main younger contenders, Matteo Berrettini, who's won a bunch of grass court tournaments in the last couple of years and made the final here last year. He's in a quarter away from both Nadal and Djokovic. And so is Hubert Hurkacz, who won the Halle tournament and made the semifinals here last year, beating Roger Federer in the quarterfinals en route in what stands as his most recent match still a year on. Those are 2 big hitting guys who are very comfortable on the grass. And semifinals with the 2 of them and Nadal and Djokovic, I think would really be something to get excited about for the spectators here.
Yeah, fantastic. Ben Rothenberg, always appreciate your insight here on World Sport. Hearing a lot more from Ben over the next couple of weeks, we hope. Now, women's world number 1 Iga Świątek hasn't played, as we were mentioning, since beating Coco Gauff at that French Open in Paris early this month. And now the Polish star is putting her historic winning streak to the test on arguably one of her less accomplished surfaces. Here's our Rolex Minute.
The stage is set, grounds pristine, ready to host the Championships Wimbledon, commencing Monday. Top seed Iga Świątek is looking to extend her dominant run into the grass court major.
I spent 10 days now on learning how to play on grass and practicing, because the movement is totally different, but in terms of just tactical preparation, I feel more ready, and winning here would be amazing and would be a confirmation that, you know, I can play on any surface.
Coco Gauff returns to the All England club, where she made a dream run into the 4th round at just 15.
I remember the walk to court 1 the most. I was so nervous. And they have like all the nice pictures that they've taken, and you know, Venus was on there a lot of times walking to the match. I obviously have so many fond memories of here, and I'm so excited to play again this year.
On the men's side, legends top each half of the draw. Rafael Nadal hopes to claim the 3rd leg of a calendar Grand Slam, while defending champion Novak Djokovic bids for a 7th title.
There is more to this tournament than the exclusive decor, the unique colours, or the singular beat. More than the epic matches that have made history. What is truly special about Wimbledon is that it's not so much about who wins in the end, as it's about who they are measuring themselves against.
I'm Bill Weir in Greenland, and this is CNN.
Hello again, we're back with some world record-breaking action from the USA Track and Field Outdoor Championships. Sydney McLaughlin yet again rewriting the history books in the women's 400-metre hurdles. The Olympic champion clocking 51.41 seconds in Eugene, Oregon. It's the third time she's broken the record over the last 12 months, lowering it from 52.16 to that mark she just recorded. In another boost to Major League Soccer and the growth of the game in the US, Gareth Bale is moving to LAFC. A tweet showing him in the kit, raising his head, wearing the cap's been viewed well over 8 million times, ending speculation that he may join hometown club Cardiff City or just quit to play golf. He's moving to LA on a one-year deal with an option to extend for a further 18 months. In 8 years at Real Madrid, the Welsh superstar won the Champions League 5 times and 3 La Liga titles, scoring 106 goals in 258 appearances. Now, having endured such a miserable season last year that he almost quit golf, China's Haotong Li is a winner on Europe's DP World Tour for the first time in more than 4 years. Despite leading from start to finish, a succession of drop shots on the final day meant he needed 2 late birdies just to make it into a playoff against Thomas Pieters of Belgium, who birdied the final hole. But on the first playoff hole, Haotong Li drained a 50-foot putt for birdie. Take a look at this. Pieters then missing and leading to an extraordinary outbreak of emotion. No wonder when you consider that Haotong Li missed 14 cuts in 2021, but is now a tournament champion once more.
I don't have words to describe right now. As soon as I chipped that Boston, I thought I just gave another chance go away, and I just can't believe that can happen on me again. And to be fair, 10 months ago, I thought I just literally decided to quit the golf, and somehow where I am now, it's hard to describe. I had no idea I could win this playoff. It's just luckily things happen on me again.
Now Ireland's Padraig Harrington appears to be strolling to victory at the US Senior Open in Pennsylvania, but one of our highlights is this crazy putt from Tim Petrovic, missing the hole by a lot, but on purpose, knowing the slope would bring it back to the cup. More of a crazy golf manoeuvre, but it worked, and the putt goes in. Now let's end the show with more tennis and a career highlight for a player ranked 205th in the world. Tim van Rijthoven beating world number 1 Danny Medvedev in an ATP final and doing it on home soil in the Netherlands. Not bad for a guy who nearly quit the game and now gets to play at a legendary major. Here's Patrick Snell.
Tim van Rijthoven is entitled to dream big right now. An amazing fairy tale run at the recent Rosmalen Grass Court Championships in the Netherlands, seeing the Dutch wildcard, then ranked 205 in the world, seal his first ATP Tour title after his biggest career win, a sensational straight sets victory against now top-ranked Daniil Medvedev.
To be able to do it in my home country was just that little extra. To be able to celebrate with them and to have the whole family and my girlfriend and also some federation coaches there that just helped me throughout all the years was very special.
Got to ask you about the moment you realize you've beaten the reigning US Open champion, the now world #1 player, Daniil Medvedev. What goes surging through your mind?
I'm very surprised that I beat him with such numbers also. But yeah, what's going through my mind, it's just, it's giving me a very big boost of confidence, obviously, because right now he's just the best player in the world. And I seem to have no real problems with him. So for me, it's just a very nice feeling.
The 25-year-old's run was even more remarkable given he'd never previously won a main draw match at tour level until that momentous week in his homeland. And now comes a very special reward, another wild card, only this time at Wimbledon.
As a small kid, I always dreamt of playing in Wimbledon on those beautiful grass courts, which you cannot find anywhere else. So yeah, it's another dream come true, basically. My expectations for myself are just gonna enjoy the tournament and enjoy however many matches I can play, just be on the court as long as possible. And obviously you want to win, but in tennis there's no guarantee.
Tim's journey, though, has been far from straightforward. Setbacks, injuries and surgeries spanning the most challenging 3-year period.
I've had a couple moments where I thought, okay, maybe it's just not for me. I'm getting very unlucky with my body. Let's just pick up some studies or do anything else. But I've had a lot of people around me that just kept believing in me. And because they kept believing in me, I kept believing in me. And I'm very glad I did, and they did also.
Rijthoven, who grew up idolizing the iconic Roger Federer, now has his sights firmly set on the All-England club, albeit there are no player ranking points up for grabs at this year's Wimbledon amid the fallout from the tournament's ban on Russian and Belarusian players.
I can really say it's going to be weird because every tournament I've played up until now is either with points or it's just a tournament for fun. And I don't see Wimbledon a tournament just for fun, because for me it's just the biggest tournament in the world still.
But hopefully you'll have some fun. That's all your World Sport for now. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.
You can help the refugees from Ukraine. Join the over 80,000 who've already raised millions for food, shelter, and more. Explore CNN.com/impact. Click to take action.
This is a really important story.
My name's Clarissa Ward. I work for CNN. Assalamu alaikum.
Day in, day out, you see the reality of people living through this.
Ничего страшного.
Okay.
This is the front line.
On a human level, you find courage, sacrifice. This is what life is about.
A lot of people are wondering why.
You see the worst of humanity.
Putin might use a nuclear weapon. Absolutely terrifying.
But you also see the best of humanity. My job is to be present.
The human cost is right here.
And to tell these stories.
We're talking about families.
That is the most important thing. I'm Clarissa Ward in Ukraine. This is CNN.
This is CNN.
Quest's World of Wonder, in association with Turkish Airlines.
Hello. Gorgeous. This is what a vacation looks like. Everyone has a good time. It's not even 8 o'clock. The sun is shining, the weather is glorious, and only 10 minutes ago it was pouring with rain. I've been to Dublin lots of times over the years, and like others, I have some preconceived ideas of the traditions and the cliches. I'm really looking forward, though, to this visit, because I've heard there's a new spirit in Dublin. I love the way Dublin is so walkable. Follow the river and I can't go wrong. Dublin has changed so much since it was unleashed as the Celtic tiger on the rest of Europe. Now, like the rest of the world, Dublin, indeed Ireland, gingerly searches for its post-pandemic purpose. Standing on the river, you can see the old and the new. The traditional Dublin over there with the customs house and the new towers of finance and the cranes showing getting even larger. And hold on to your hat with that breeze coming in. The weather is about to turn nasty, and I shall take refuge in a pub, of which, of course, there are many. Actually, it's not just any pub. The Cobblestone. They call themselves a drinking pub with a music problem. Thomas Mulligan and the family have been mine hosts since 1987.
My dad came in here and there was a very rough clientele that was in here at the time. You know, it was an early house. So that means that people that would have been working night shifts would have come in right after they were finished work, delirious with the tiredness, and then started a day's drinking on top of that. And after a while, he just decided he wanted to completely overhaul that and get music playing every day of the week.
Of the hundreds of public houses in Dublin, I've chosen the Cobblestone because it's the home of traditional Irish music, and it's just won a legal battle to survive.
Believe it or not, you know, this being the nation's capital, this being the thing that we are famous for is our music. There's not many places that you can actually go and engage with that aspect of our culture here on a daily basis.
Oh, please don't start the fun. I be getting so much done.
We like people to leave this place in a better state than they came into it.
There are ways that can be enhanced.
There are indeed. But there's plenty of people who come in here and not even take a drink, you know, and that's what's special about this place.
She was running wild. She said, as long as there's no place, I know I'll stay.
Look deep into the faces of these musicians, the rhapsody of the music that they are creating, And of course, I want to have a go. But which instrument to play?
Now, and you should take this with you everywhere you go in Ireland. It'll guarantee you'll get kicked out of every pub you go into.
So is it held that way?
And that's not for me to teach you. That's for Keane, our professional theremin teacher. He'll teach you everything about it. He's going to teach me about it because I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to improve on my rhythm a bit. So we'll go into it.
My rhythm is non-existent.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Yeah, and hitting it hardest on the 1. Down, up, down, click.
1,
2, 3, 4. Whoops! Like watermelon, watermelon, watermelon is an easy way to remember it. So for jigs, it's rashers and sausages. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like,
sorry, where did rashers, sausages and watermelon come in?
It doesn't matter. Getting there.
Rashers and sausages. Rashers and sausages. I love music, but I can neither sing nor play any instrument. And yet that won't stop me joining in on the Bowron, because that's what this place is all about. It's infectious. It's what the locals here describe as a bit of the crack.
Spelled C-R-A-I-C. And it's just, it's a feeling, you know, the crack being 90, the crack is flying, the pints are flying. It's a buzz, right? It's a buzz, it's a feeling. You can feel it in the cockles of your spirit. You can feel it in your bones, in the marrow. It's electric, right? I've walked into the pub and I feel like the chairs and tables are like levitating about an inch off the ground, you know, that something's about to kick off here and it's going to be great.
$300 million years ago, there was no Africa, Asia, Americas, or Europe. Just one big supercontinent, Pangaea. And today, there is still a force connecting those divided by distance, reversing millions of years of rifting. Making far feel close, bringing there to here. Turkish Airlines.
These troops, they are Russian. I've spoken to the commander. He said they are now in control. Move on that way. It's a secret location. They're going to fire on Russian forces. There has been a ferocious battle here. There's unexploded grenades everywhere. We're being shown the powerful American guns, giving them an edge.
You downplayed the US intelligence assessment. Do you now regret that?
I'm in Kiev right now, and it is under attack, Mr. Lavrov, from Russian forces. I'm being told by our security that we need to get our flak jackets on. No matter where you are in this country, lives are being shattered. There are thousands streaming out. It is at least a chance to save their own lives. Matthew Chance, CNN.
I'm an early riser at the best of times. Getting up with the sun is part of my life. Some people sleep in. I get up and get out.
Hello, you made it. So this is the 40-foot.
The 40-foot.
You have a lovely sign as well.
But even for this early riser, the prospect of swimming Dublin's 40-foot is daunting. There'll be none of that. Instead, I'll be swimming with a group called the Ripple Effect. Of course, you look like you're doing this regularly.
Every day.
Every day? A wonderful, gregarious bunch of early risers who come here to meet, swim and breakfast, come rain or shine. Why is it called the 40-foot? No one seems to agree, and it doesn't matter anyway. It's the people and that crack again that I've come for. Right. Am I committing a dreadful mistake? An etiquette mistake with my dry road?
No, you're
not.
grand. It's necessary.
I'm not going to have stones thrown at me. You city types with your dry roads.
No, it's absolutely necessary.
I know it's going to be very cold. I know it'll be good fun.
Oh, yeah.
I know it'll be very cold. I know I'll just have to stay in there for the minimum amount of time to make it decent. And these people do it every day. I mean, they do it every day.
Good gosh.
I just... If I keep moving, I can still feel my fingers and toes. And in time, of course, those endorphins kick in, which is what this is all about.
Warmer over here.
Warmer is a relative concept in this case. Well, after a few seconds, a few moments, it's most enjoyable.
That was lovely.
But when you start to feel the tingling in the ends of your fingers, I think that's usually a good sign it's time to get out.
It's a very good sign, definitely a sign to get out, yeah.
But now, of course, the body is warm and... oh.
You okay?
I did. I did think I was having a heart attack when I went in there.
Welcome to Dublin.
Yay!
We did it!
What a great way to start the day. I mean, amazing way. This is Ireland, and with true hospitality, of course, someone's brought coffee and freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. These are excellent. What a day. Why do you all do it?
Look what we're all doing now. We're all laughing, we're all chatting, we're all connecting.
Community, we're all reverberating off one another. Interacting, laughing, lifting one another up.
During lockdown, a lot of people couldn't meet indoors, so a lot of people started connecting outside, and this was just a nice place for people to come, and people rediscovered the sea, and it's just been really nice to do it.
Recharge.
Yeah.
Recharge, that's the word.
I think we've tapped into this in the last 2 years, in the 2 years that have just passed. We've seen the need to enhance our mental well-being. In fact, I would accredit it to saving my life to a degree.
Jonathan is a 40-footer who owns this amazing cafe where he insists we repair for breakfast, and he won't let me pay. I understand now why they call themselves the Ripple Effect.
I think the ripple effect is an Irish thing. It has a part of our history. You know, everyone's there to support each other, whether we go through hard times, good times. You know, everyone is there to really, really support each other.
One word that describes Ireland and the people.
Heart is the biggest thing. Heart is the biggest thing. Everyone wants to love, and that's what people love to do. And everyone's seeking love. And I think that's what Ireland is.
For most of the city, the day has barely begun. For me, as the blood starts flowing again, I can't help feeling I've already enjoyed the best bit. And it's not even 8 a.m.
300 million years ago, there was no Africa, Asia, Americas, or Europe. Just one big supercontinent, Pangaea. And today, there is still a force connecting those divided by distance. reversing millions of years of drifting. Making far feel close. Bringing there to here. Turkish Airlines.
Our mission here at CNN, the news comes first.
More breaking news that we are following right now. Welcome to the Situation Room. We have breaking news.
Modernity and transformation has altered much here, but it hasn't changed those parts of Dublin life that makes this city what it is, and the institutions upon whose history it grew and still rests.
The oldest surviving Irish harp and the model for the insignia of Ireland.
In Irish literature, there's none greater than James Joyce.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to you, sir. Your breakfast is ready.
John Shevlin is a very good James Joyce lookalike.
The only thing we're missing here are the kidneys.
This breakfast is the classic from Joyce's Ulysses, that weighty tome that mimics the Odyssey through one man's day in Dublin.
Joyce himself said that people for decades will be trying to find out what I meant.
Walking the streets with one of Ireland's national treasures helps me decipher what it feels to be a Dubliner.
Do you enjoy doing James Joyce? I do, absolutely. And it's amazing the people I meet. Incredible. They all join in with the crack, the fun. Crack is fun. I certainly feel appropriate with you in this outfit. You set the tone.
There's that word again, the crack. The fun, the spirit. It's everywhere here, drawing the eras together, and in historic terms, that means into battle. The Irish have had to defend themselves from foreign invaders and marauders since the Middle Ages. Medieval armoured combat Ireland. It's the modern-day incarnation of all of that. There's no impersonators here playing dress-up. No pulling of punches or dummy attacks. These are true weekend warriors swinging real steel axes and swords with all the force man can muster. It is both terrifying and tremendous.
The proudest moments in my life have been the fact that I've got to represent my country at a world championship in a sport most people have never heard of.
I don't know whether I can even stand up now. I'm sort of getting a bit frightened at the sheer weight of the thing, let alone grabbing one of these swords, which are bloody heavy.
Within the confines of basic rules, this is for real.
Ow!
He really is hitting me with a sword.
Doesn't hurt at all, but all of a sudden you feel a hit on your head. Once more, my dear friends, into the breach.
You ready?
No.
Fighters ready? Fight!
Fight! Hey, that's not fair.
Good defense. Swing it. Hit him.
While there's great historical accuracy to the armor and the weaponry, this is not a reenactment of famous battles. Rather, it is a sport where you fight to win.
Time. What was that smell of burning?
That's sparks. It's like gunpowdery smell.
Yeah.
That's sparks coming off the swords, the armor.
Yeah, I thought it was on fire.
Oh, you were getting into it.
Right. We're not doing that again.
There's an inherent contradiction, isn't there? The most friendly people in the world then go and beat the bejeebers out of each other.
Well, and you can see that in the fighting here, when people are knocking 7 shades out of each other, and then they take the helmet off and they're grinning and they're hugging each other. So I think it's working out your aggression in the right direction, and then it's done and it's over with. And I think if more people were getting all their aggression and anger out in that way, we'd be in a much better place. You didn't fall over and you didn't drop the sword. That's a win in my books for the first time. A well-deserved winner.
Give me one word that you think best describes Ireland and the Irish.
I think the word would be heart. And there's lots of different ways you could interpret it, and it's heart. Whether it's bringing people in and accepting them or being proud of ourselves, it's all about heart.
Ah, that Irish heart, it keeps beating throughout, from intrepid swimmers to these brave knights. I would gladly march into battle with them, if I can keep up.
The world is changing, the industry's changing, the windows are changing, things going to streaming are changing. And I think if you're a company that just sits around and says, I'm going to do things the same way I've done them for the past 20 years, you're going to be left in the dust. So IMAX has been looking to move into other areas. We did a live stream with Kanye and Drake, and that was really successful. People dancing in the theaters. We also, in a related way, did a deal with Disney Plus, where we're now on that service.
We have front row seats.
And for a number of the big Marvel titles, you could see them with IMAX aspect ratio. So the core movie business is doing extremely well. I think we have to lead the way to a transition to the new world and look at new ways of doing things.
Dublin is amazing, but if I only see Ireland's capital, I am a fool and have cheated myself. I am forgoing the dramatic cliffs of the west and heading further south, instead to where the wild Atlantic Way actually starts. Cork, a place that considers itself the real capital of the Republic. Ireland boasts of its fresh foods, and the English market, which has been here since 1788, is freshness central.
Well, you'll find there's a bit of every animal in this market, right? And I guarantee, Richard, if you stand around long enough, someone's going to take a nibble off you, all right?
Patrick Fitzpatrick is with me. He's the comedian, actor, author, and Cork native. And he's figured out how to win me over.
But you have to actually experience things like custard slices.
Oh, I love a custard slice. Oh.
Custard ice cream in a cake.
Thank you very much. I come here for the fresh food.
The quality of this is just superb.
I linger because of the welcome.
Morning, sir. How are you? Good. How long does this keep if you don't have it in the fridge?
If you don't have it in the fridge, depends what temperature actually do have it in.
What's different about Cork compared to Dublin?
We have a much lower opinion of ourselves, but we pretend otherwise. So we have both an inferiority complex and a superiority complex in Cork. Cork, classic second city. It's about 1/10 of the size, population-wise, of Dublin. It's got a grudge. It's got a chip on both shoulders. It's got the notion that it's the real Ireland. So, and I think there's a bit of truth in that, to the extent that if you go to Dublin now, it can feel like a small London. Whereas this feels like a big town, a big Irish town.
The English market was merely the hors d'oeuvre. The main course is 20 minutes up the road. Blarney Castle and its famous stone, which legend says bestows the gift of the gab on those who kiss it.
So the question is, are you going to kiss the Blarney Stone?
I never have.
Why not?
I'm 55 and I never have, and I grew up within 10 kilometres. Well, because it's a tourist thing.
In case you hadn't noticed, we're tourists. Part of me thinks of the 40,000 people who've kissed it in the last 48 hours.
What do you know about them, you know? I don't mind kissing people, but I'd like to at least meet them first, maybe buy a drink.
My ignorance, I'd always thought the Blarney Stone was a rock on a cliff overlooking the ocean.